I think your portrayal of exactly where we are right now with this war is exactly the way our allies and partners view it as well. That this was an unnecessary war, that Trump doesn't know what to do at this point. And clearly, there is going to be a real mess in terms of trying to get out of this mess that we're all in. And so I think the comments of the German chancellor and others is that this is not a NATO war. Now, they are also suffering as a result of the Strait of Hormuz backlog right now that is affecting their energy supplies, their oil, their gas, and other types of products that are coming out of the Gulf. But at the same time, they see that this was so unnecessary and it's senseless, and that Donald Trump now doesn't have a way forward. And so why would they get involved in something like this? I think also that Donald Trump said something this morning that was very telling. When they asked him about the Brits and Keir Starmer, Prime Minister Starmer, why he has not joined this effort. And Starmer told Trump, I need to speak with my advisors. And Trump said, why do you have to speak with your advisors? It just demonstrates that these are all things that he does on his own, and he's not taking the advice and input of others, even though there all seem to be the sycophants here. But Keir Starmer and others are listening to their intelligence professionals, listening to their military experts, listening to their foreign policy advisors and others to see the right way forward. But Donald Trump acts on his gut, on his feelings, which is not the way to prosecute any war, especially one that is so needless as this.
I'm curious about the intelligence you believe we have coming out of Iran. Our colleague from MS Now, Inez de la Cuatara, she sat down with a former advisor to Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. That man's name is Jabr al-Rajabi. Al-Rajabi, as you probably know, defected from the regime back in 2016. He is living in exile. This is what he had to say about the new Ayatollah.
He's like a shadow, and he likes to stay behind the scenes. He does not like to be seen, and also fear is a factor. He wants to stay in the shadows, and he has one voice, religious calling. I believe he actually did make those statements to the press. I'm sure that he's alive as well. He is not like his father. He does not like to talk and speak and preach and be in the public sphere. He likes to work behind the scenes. He does like to be more mysterious, so people questioning and where he is and all that, he wants it to be a question mark. He does not like to be seen or people to know where he's at.
To the point that you made about leaders of nations needing to listen to their own advisors, your sense of the intelligence that is currently being gathered about the situation inside Iran, the leadership inside Iran, and whether or not this president and his larger council of advisors is in fact taking that into account as they plan their steps forward?
Well, I think it's quite questionable. I'm sure that the intelligence assessments that went into the White House before this war started, as has been reported in the press, really cautioned about the ability to topple this regime with an aerial bombing campaign the way we've seen. So I'm sure the intelligence professionals in the U.S. intelligence community and other intelligence communities around the globe are seeing a defiance on the part of the Iranians. As was pointed out, the new Ayatollah Khamenei, Khamenei is really, I'm not going to say a puppet, but he really is at the helm of a government that is really being run by the senior leadership of the Revolutionary Guard. The Revolutionary Guard increasingly over the years has gained more and more influence and control over the economy, over the political system, over Iranian society. And so I think that this is going to continue, this conflict, because they're not going to roll over. And the reports that there are some negotiations that are going on, I think the Iranians are willing to negotiate, but they're not going to give up this defiance and this defense of their country. And so, I think Trump and his advisors realize now that they really have started this war and they don't know how to get out of it. And that's why clearly Donald Trump, as Michael said, is whining now about the need for others to support. And why should others support when Donald Trump has derided our international alliances and partnerships and treaties? And so it is the hubris that Donald Trump has been, spouting over the past number of months really, I think, shows that the United States, despite the fact that we are so big and powerful and militarily capable, we still need our allies and partners. This is an interconnected world.